All right, welcome everybody. We're going to start off today. I want to get into some of the economic numbers that came out today, and of course, news in regards to Microsoft and the fact that they're laying off 10,000 workers. Now, many people are shocked by this, and people are concerned. Oh my God, Microsoft must be doing terrible, and their earnings are going to be awful. Well, I'm going to give a bit of a different take here. 5% of its workforce through the end of the year. Nardella said, CEO, we're living through times of significant change, and as I meet with customers and partners, a few things are clear. Said the company, which has been operating for nearly half a century, will incur a $1.2 billion charge in the second quarter in relation to this. He says customers accelerated their digital spend during the pandemic. Now they're seeing them optimize their digital spend to do more with less. We're seeing organizations in every industry and geography exercise caution as some parts of the world are in a recession, other parts are anticipating one. Next major wave of computing is being born with advances in AI, and we're turning the world's most advanced models into a new computing platform. It goes on. Again, I'm going to kind of translate this, and this is the type of statement that you're getting from many of the tech companies out there. 10,000 workers, 5% of the workforce. Let's go back to 2019. 2019, Microsoft had 144,000 workers. Right before the layoffs right now, 221,000. Okay, so give or take here, you're talking 80,000 workers just over the past several years. Several, not even several, past three. Bit much. You overdid it. You overdid it, and many companies did the exact same thing. They went on these hiring binges, which just made no sense whatsoever. Again, like I said, it was like hoarding toilet paper, for crying out loud. They were hoarding workers. Worker productivity numbers last year were awful. And it's just a function of mathematics. You're just taking the amount of people that are employed at these companies, and you take a look at the type of productivity, what companies are putting out. And again, these companies have way too many people. And they're cutting back. I mean, we talked about Goldman Sachs yesterday and companies across the board. Again, we do live in a country when it likes getting laid off, but you still got 10 million job openings that are out there. And the ability to find another job, it's there if you apply yourself. So we have that on a positive note. Many people are alluding, saying, well, gee whiz, Microsoft numbers are going to be terrible. I don't expect them to be, going like gangbusters by any stretch of the imagination. But again, I think what these companies are doing right now are great. Like I said, recessions, slowdown periods, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know if we're going to go into recession. Talked about this ad nauseum here on the program. I don't position portfolios based upon trying to guess when the recession monster is going to come or what the Fed is going to do. It's an exercise in futility. Own high quality companies that pay and own them. You're going to be fine through all of this, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Retail sales down 1.1% in December. It's the biggest monthly decline of 2022. Consumers cut back at the height of the holiday season. Again, November sales were revised lower. So overall, not as strong. Again, people are spending money in different ways. Again, you take a look at some of the airlines numbers, people going on vacation. I just saw today Vail Resorts. Off the charts. As far as the type of money that they're making. Again, it's an adjustment right now. People want to get out and about, post-COVID, and that's where a lot of money is flowing. You also had on the other side of this as well, wholesale prices down 0.5%. This is another sign inflation is really easing off, and actually November's numbers were revised down as well. This is where we're going to get into this right now with the markets. You're going to see more and more volatility. We told you this was going to happen for a period of time. It's a tug of war. We describe it as an unwinnable game of tug of war. Right now, you've got people tugging on one side saying, "Oh, gee whiz, inflation is coming down, and what does that mean? And is the Fed going to lower rates? And could there be a recession?" Basically, you got the Fed watchers out there versus the people that are looking at earnings. This is the tug of war that's taking place today. It's time I'm doing this program. Markets were up early in the morning. Now they're down. It's all about earnings right now. It's all about earnings today. The trading thing is about what are the numbers going to be moving forward. Why do I call this an unwinnable game of tug of war? Well, it's an unwinnable game of tug of war when it comes to your portfolio. And what do you do? You want to be smart in unwinnable games. And I thought about this before. It was a great 1980s film there with Matthew Broderick, War Games, where you get this computer. I guess it was AI for the 1980s, the Whopper. And the Whopper is basically playing a game of global thermonuclear war. And the concern is that the Whopper is hooked up to all of our nuclear missiles. And it's trying to figure out a way that it can win a nuclear war. And it plays off all of these various different scenarios. The movie was great, tense towards the end, whether or not the computer is going to launch the missiles. But the computer realizes, the artificial intelligence realizes that the only way to win is not to play. At some point in time, people, you've got to understand that the only way you're going to do well, especially in conditions like that, trying to trade this, trying to guess what's going to happen next, you're not going to win. So don't play that game. Again, I've talked about this for years and years and years, tried to get across to people the importance of fundamentals, high quality companies, being able to navigate storms, corrections, unwinnable tug of war games, if you will. And that's what we do. And again, we're helping as many people out as we can. Have been quite busy over the past year, that's for sure, with all of the increase in the accounts coming in. But we help each and every one of you out. So again, get to our website, inquire about our personal CFO program, and structure your portfolio properly. Okay, let's get into the James Bond villain summit there at Davos. Were you at all surprised at this? There's story, dark side of Davos. Global elite bookings for sex workers soar. Yeah, it is. Again, I would have told you that. If I could, you could have bought, any sort of derivative based upon the usage of hookers at Davos. You would have bought that, and you would have done very, very well. And again, not surprising. Again, this is not shocking. Nobody else can. If you are not from the Davos area, if you don't have an invite or you don't live in that, you can't get in there. The Swiss, you can't drive and they want to say, "Hey, I want to go see what Davos." No. They got checks all around it. So they obviously, brought the hookers in ahead of time, along with the caterers with the vodka and caviar. John Kerry at Davos. The only way to stop global warming is money, 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 money. What else is new? What else? Again, John Kerry, take a look at this guy's resume. He's never had a real job in his entire life. He's never worked in the private sector in his entire life. He's living off his wife's Heinz ketchup money. Yeah, John Kerry's got a hell of a boat, though, right? Hey, John, you going to give up that mega yacht of yours because of climate change? It's not an electric boat. It's got a motor on it. Does not, John? Hey, John, how about all those people there that are, flying into Davos on their private jets? I don't have anything against that. But it's the same thing again. More money, higher taxes. It's nonsense. It is absolute nonsense. There is not. Do you honestly think that these people that are in poverty-stricken countries that are trying, and again, extreme poverty is gone. We've made enormous strides globally when it comes to extreme poverty. Even take a look at China. What China was like back in the 1970s compared to the way it is today. And we're making great strides all around the globe. Do you think that people living in sub-Saharan Africa, you think that they give a shit about windmills or solar panels? They just don't. They want a better life for their kids. India? You think India is all of a sudden going to be putting up windmills and solar panels? Are you kidding me? This is where all of the emissions, this is where they're going to be coming from down the road. It's not going to change anything. You can have all the summits you want. It's always been a cash grab, quite frankly. They don't focus on really fixing the problem because, again, there's no money. There's no money. Well, you ever notice that with government? There's no money in fixing problems. There isn't. You got to keep it going because you got to keep that money train. Anyway, another tidbit here out of Davos. Maria Salazar from Miami is down there, and she's talking about her plan about granting amnesty for people that are in the country illegally, and she's put up a plan out there. It's a 15-year plan. And this is what she had to say. She said, we need to also give dignity to those people who are in the country, and those are the people that I represent. We're talking about 13 to 15 million people who are, most of them, Hispanics. I would say 85% who speak my language, look like me, and sound like me, who are contributing to the economy of this country, and they live in the shadows. Again, I am a big fan and proponent of her plan. I am. I grabbed this story off of Breitbart, which is very much a right of center website out there. And I, for shits and giggles, I decided to look at the comments section and looked at the collective far right wing freak out. I mean, it was a freak out. Yeah, hey, throw her out of the country, deport her too. Oh, this is not right. You got to deport them all. Do you really think that that's possible? Okay. Listen, maybe you can get the, I don't know, from the Avengers, maybe the Infinity Gauntlet, and you can snap your fingers and all of a sudden, send everybody back to where they came from. But that ain't freaking going to happen, man. It ain't going to happen. So you're going to have to compromise at some point in time, which means you're going to have to walk back your extreme position. And Salazar says as well, we have got to stop right now. We have got to shut down the border. No more. No more, which I am totally for. In her plan, she has E-Verify. Anybody that's here in this country illegally, you can't get any government assistance. It's a 15-year process to become a citizen. Why not try to solve the problem rather than yell and scream? It's like that Simpsons thing with Abe Simpson when he's like yelling at the moon or something like that. You can yell about it. You're not solving anything. You're not going to deport all of these people. It's not going to happen. Anyway, again, this is part of the problem. You get the people that can't compromise. They're not free thinkers. They listen to sound bites or headlines. And again, they're more concerned about yelling and screaming about a problem rather than actually solving the problem. Both left and right. Oh, we got Larry Fink from BlackRock. He's complaining about where his ESG movement has gone. And he's talking about how his ESG narrative has been tarnished. Let's be clear, the narrative is ugly. The narrative is creating this huge polarization. We're trying to address the misconceptions. It's hard because it's not business anymore. They're doing it in a personal way. And for the first time in my professional career, attacks are now personal. They're trying to demonize the issues. And we've talked about various different states out there that have pushed back in regards to BlackRock and not letting them manage money in their states, pulling money from BlackRock. I think Florida was the last one, pulled $2 billion. And again, the only thing that you should consider when you're managing money is managing risk and return, risk and reward. You're not trying to, save the whales. Okay. We talked about the whales yesterday and the windmills. Windmills, I think, are killing the whales. But anyway, neither here nor there. You're there to show a return. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And, I did this ESG stuff. I'm not going to invest in fossil fuels. Fossil fuels aren't going anywhere. They are not going anywhere, kids. Yeah. Oh, sure. Everybody in India is going to get, going to be plugging in cars. Get the hell out of here. Some of the stupid ideas. And they're talking about, we mentioned the gas stove thing here. Are you kidding me? You want to just rely upon electricity? I mean, I've got a generator here at my house, but I also have a propane tank for, reasons. Backup for crying. I mean, what if for crying out loud, your electricity goes out and you have an electric stove. How do you heat anything? It's nuts. Anyway, moving on. Jeb Enserling here had a piece in the Wall Street Journal, and it was in regards to government debt threat. And the government debt threat keeps mounting. And I recommend it. It's a good piece. And he talks about, times over the past 50 years where there's been congressional efforts to reduce budget deficits. A successful one. You want to go back to 1997, which was the budget, the Clinton-Gingrich agreement in 1997. Very successful. That was the last time we've balanced the budget here in this country. You had the Budget Control Act of 2011. But again, he makes the point that I've often made here on the program. Unless we start talking about entitlements, I don't know what to tell you. We're going nowhere fast. Entitlement spending right now comprises 64% of the federal budget. Then you get interest on our debt. You get the defense budget right there, and nobody wants to touch that. What do you have left? 16%. 16%. And you think you're going to really do much with that? And again, entitlement spending continues to grow. Want to go back to 2004 and 2005. George W. Bush tried to, work with Social Security and try to do a little carve out for private accounts. I was very much for doing that. And he had Congress and he had the presidency, and he still couldn't get it done. Again, a lot of political capital at the time was being spent on a stupid war in Iraq, and Mitch McConnell said, I don't think we got the political capital for this there, George. So they got nothing done. He talked about the Graham-Rudman Act of 1985, saved $36 billion annually over 5 years. And he also discussed the fact that, how many of these, dealing with budget deficits and our debt, were popular at time. And people are concerned about this today. And, I've talked about this at length. At some point in time, it's going to end. I know people say, it's like that debt clock's been going forever. Yeah. But at some point, it will hit a wall unless we start, acting in an intelligent manner or fashion. Now, again, right now, the White House has pushed back against any sort of spending deal when it comes to the debt ceiling, where they're not going to negotiate. Why not? Why not? Do you have any idea how much stronger this country would be? Do you have any idea how much better? I mean, we could just start getting this down to size. You get it? Anyway, Dumber, and California. We're watching what's taking place in California right now. They've had drought issues for some time in that state, and we know this. And again, they've got areas of that state where they call it the salad bowl of America, where lettuce comes from, and all sorts of problems when it comes to water. And it's their own damn frickin' fault, because they're dumber in California. How about building some frickin' reservoirs? Do you understand if they actually captured the water that's been falling there, putting it into reservoirs, doing it in a, again, environmentally friendly, smart fashion, you wouldn't have these problems. You know what the snow cap is like in California right now? It all washes out to sea. 96% of the water goes out to sea. Why? You could be saving this water. You wouldn't have these problems. But again, the environmental wackos, I guess, won't allow that to happen. So again, it's hard for me to feel sorry for the state of California. I'm sorry. I see what's going on there, and you're seeing the mudslides, and you're seeing the torrential rain. You guys got to get your head screwed on straight. And rather than, seizing upon these times as an opportunity, let's just let it wash out to sea. And we got a drought, we got fires, and we can't handle it. Oh, come on, people. Anyway, I haven't talked about this guy in the past, I think, about a week now. I'm sorry. At some point in time, somebody in the Republican Party has got to step up to the plate and just, dude, you got, who is the Bill Clinton of the Republican Party at this point in time? What I mean by the Bill Clinton is, the guy that would go to like Bob Torricelli and make him an offer he couldn't refuse. Bob, sit up, Bob. You're gonna have to step down. And again, you're gonna get taken care of. You're gonna step down, but Santos brand new. I don't know how well he's going to get taken care of, but it just keeps adding up. Another story coming out here in regards to a Ponzi scheme that George Santos was selling investors in Florida. And then today, New York Post, the guy was supposedly ripping off veterans, homeless veterans. They did a GoFundMe page, thousands of dollars to save this guy's dog. And he kept it. I swear, I don't know what's coming next. This is surreal. And if this guy was older, for crying out loud, I think he probably was a Zodiac killer. At what point in time do you say this is just ridiculous? Well, we got to maintain our power position. No. You have to do the right thing. You have to do the right thing. That's what leadership is you lead by example. You lead by example. And the Republican, how you allow a sleaze bucket like this as a member of your caucus in Congress, again, it's beyond me. Anyway, have a great day, buddy. WatchDog on WallStreet.com. WatchDog on WallStreet.com. We'll see you.